Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you are here. Today we are talking about something super important if you want a great 2025. Building new habits. Now I know what you are thinking. Habits? That sounds a bit boring. But trust me, this is going to be fun. We will learn easy ways to start new habits, keep them going, and see big changes in our lives. By the end of this video, you will have a step-by-step plan to make 2025 your best year ever. And we are going to do it with a little humor, some helpful checklists, and some biblical wisdom sprinkled in like sugar on top of a cupcake. Let's jump right in. Before we talk about how to build habits, let's talk about why they matter so much. Habits are the things we do almost automatically, like brushing our teeth or washing our hands. We don't think too hard about them, and they keep us healthy and clean. Now, imagine using this same power of automatic action for other areas of your life, like reading every day or doing a short workout each morning. If you can make these actions as normal as brushing your teeth, think about how much progress you'll make without even stressing out. Let's do a small activity. Think of one good thing you want to do every day in 2025. Maybe it's reading for 15 minutes or going for a quick walk around the block. I recently watched a video on YouTube of children pranking their parents about making a video of their morning routine, and almost every one of them mentioned going for a run after they wake up. So I guess that's a good habit to take into consideration this year. Picture it in your mind. If you do that one thing every day, even for just 5 or 10 minutes, you will get better at it. After a while, you won't even have to force yourself. Your brain will say, "Oh, it's time for our daily walk," and off you go. One of my favorite little verses in the Bible says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." That's from Philippians 4:13. It's a nice reminder that we are never alone when we are trying to change for the better. We have help. We just need to put in the effort. So remember, habits are powerful because they help us to do good things over and over without draining our energy or willpower. Now let's talk about which habits you should pick. You might be thinking, I have so many areas I want to improve. You have health, you have learning, relationships, or even your spiritual life. It's tempting to choose a huge list of habits all at once, but a big list can sometimes feel scary, and we might end up doing nothing at all. So I suggest starting with just 1 or 2 habits. Keep it simple. Maybe daily exercise, reading more, or learning a new skill. You can make a little mini list, but pick 1 or 2 from it and focus on those first. You can always add more habits once you are comfy with the first ones. And remember, Psalm 119 verse 105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." That's a reminder that seeking wisdom from the Bible, good books, or good teachers helps us see where we are going, guides us, and keeps us from stumbling around in the dark. That's why picking habits that help you grow in wisdom is always a good idea. We all know it's tough to keep up with a new habit when it feels really hard. For example, deciding to run 10 miles every day on January 1st might sound awesome, but if you haven't jogged since last summer, that's going to feel like climbing a giant mountain. And after a day or 2, you are likely to say, "Nope, I'm done." Instead, start small. If you want to run for 5 minutes each day, if you want to read for 5 minutes or a page per day. If you want to learn guitar, practice for 5 minutes every evening. Starting small helps you form the habit more easily. It's like planting a tiny seed in the ground before growing a giant tree. Over time, you can water and take care of that seed until it becomes a habit tree with strong roots. This is based on the idea that it's easier to do something if it doesn't feel like a giant chore. It's about showing up every day, even for a few minutes, because once you show up, you often do more than you planned. You will say, I will just read for 5 minutes, but then discover you actually read for 15 minutes. The goal at the start is to simply get yourself to do it, no matter how small. Next, let's talk about the power of triggers. What is a trigger? It's something that reminds you to do your habit. For example, when your alarm rings in the morning, that might be your trigger to do some stretching or read a quick daily devotion. Or when you finish dinner, that might be your trigger to go for a walk. Triggers connect your new habit to something you already do. I like to call it piggybacking. Just like a kid riding piggyback on a grown-up. You let your new habit climb onto the back of something that's already happening. If you brush your teeth every morning, well, I hope you do, you can use that as a trigger to do a 30-second plank or a quick prayer of gratitude. Having a schedule or a trigger can help us stick to our new habits. So look at your daily routine. Where can you add a small new habit? Right after breakfast? Right before bed? Maybe on your lunch break? Now let's be honest. Sometimes new habits ain't always fun. If it's an exercise, it might make you sweat. If it's reading something challenging, you might get bored. If it's about practicing a new skill, you might feel frustrated when you mess up. So how do we stay motivated? One idea is to reward yourself. Set up a little prize for sticking to your habit. If you read for 5 minutes every day for a week, treat yourself to a small snack you love or watch your favorite show. Another idea is to find a buddy. Everything is better with friends. You can text your friend and say, hey, did you do your 5-minute workout today? Or you can meet at the park and walk together. You will have more fun. Plus, you won't want to let each other down or be the one not doing it all the time. You know, ego. Tracking your progress is also super helpful. Use a simple chart or calendar. Put a sticker on the days you did your habit. Seeing a row of stickers or check marks can feel really satisfying. Remember Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. That's just a fancy way of saying keep going and good things will happen. Now, no matter how pumped you are right now, obstacles will come. Sometimes it rains and you can't go for your walk. Sometimes you get busy and skip your reading. Sometimes you just don't feel like it. That's normal. We are humans, not robots. So what can you do when this happens? First, make a plan B. If you can't walk outside because of the rain, maybe you can do a short workout inside. If you can't practice your guitar in the evening, maybe you can do it in the morning. Having a backup plan helps you from giving up completely. Second, give yourself grace. If you miss one day, don't panic. Just don't miss 2 days in a row. If you slip up, get back on track the next day. The Bible says in Proverbs 24 verse 16, though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. Keep getting up. Third, remind yourself why. You are building these habits for a reason. Maybe you want to be healthier, smarter, wealthier. Think about that reason whenever you feel lazy. Picture a better version of yourself in a few months from now. Happy that you stuck with it. Obstacles are normal. They don't mean you are a failure. They are just a chance to learn and grow. Let's pause for a moment and talk about celebrating. Yes, you heard me right. Celebrating is important in building new habits. Why? Because it makes us feel good about ourselves and encourages us to keep going. So celebrate little victories. Did you finish your 5-minute workout every day this week? Yay! Did you read one page of a book each day? Awesome! Did you practice a new skill without skipping? That's awesome! Did you practice a new skill without skipping? Way to go! Go ahead and do a mini happy dance or give yourself a high five. Tell a friend or a family member about your achievement. A small celebration can make you feel proud, and that pride can push you to keep going forward. It's a bit like the story of the mustard seed. A mustard seed is tiny, but it can grow into a big tree. Small, consistent actions can lead to big results if you keep nourishing them with a positive attitude. Sometimes we need someone to check in on us to keep us honest. That's where accountability comes in. This could be a friend, a sibling, a parent, or an online group. You can set goals together. Tell them your new habit goal, and maybe they will share one of theirs. Then you can regularly check in. Like every Friday, you can see how each person is doing, and of course, encourage each other. Don't judge. If one slips up, help them get back on track. This is a good place to remember Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9, which talks about how two people are better than one, because if one falls, the other can help them up. We all need a buddy sometimes to keep us strong and remind us why we started in the first place. We humans are visual creatures. We like pictures, colors, and notes stuck to the fridge. So I suggest using a visual reminder to keep your habits in front of your eyes. You can write your habit on a sticky note and place it on your mirror or desk. If you like technology, download a simple habit tracker app that gives you badges or stars when you finish a task. You can even make a small poster with your goal, like walk 5 minutes daily, and decorate it with stickers or drawings. At first, seeing these reminders might seem silly, but over time, they will give you a little nudge. You will see that note and think, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do a 5-minute walk now, or it's time to read my one page for the day. The simpler the reminder, the better. If it's so complicated, you might ignore it. But a bright sticky note on the fridge is a quick, friendly poke to keep you on track. Let's say you've been doing your new habit for a few weeks and it's going great. You feel comfortable. It's no longer a struggle. You might be wondering, is it time to add another habit now? The answer is maybe. If your habit feels easy and automatic, it might be safe to add a new one. But if you are still struggling, give it some more time. You don't want to overload your plate. Also, be sure to celebrate your success before moving on. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's kind of like leveling up in a video game. You don't jump from level 1 to level 10 all at once, right? You go one level at a time, gaining skill and confidence as you go. We mentioned triggers and piggybacking before. Let's take that idea a little further with something called habit stacking. That's where you take a habit you already have and then add a new habit right after it. For instance, if you brush your teeth every morning, follow it up with a quick prayer of thanks. If you brew coffee in the morning, use that time to do 5 squats or 5 push-ups while waiting for it to finish. If you watch a 20-minute show every evening, you could stretch during the commercial breaks. Habit stacking works because you are not starting from scratch. You are stacking the new habit onto something you already do. This can really speed up the time it takes to form the new habit. Give it a try and see how it goes. Give it a try and see how it feels. But remember, not to overdo it. Start with one small addition at a time. Sometimes the hardest part of building new habits isn't the habit itself, but the voice in our head that says, I'm too lazy, or I can't do this. That's where mindset and positive self-talk comes in. Speak kindly to yourself. Pretend you are talking to a friend. You wouldn't tell a friend they are a failure if they skip one workout, right? You would encourage them to try again tomorrow. Do the same for yourself. Affirmations also help. These are short positive statements you tell yourself, like, I am capable of change, or I can stick to my habits. And if you ever feel weak, remember 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, which says, God gives us a spirit of power and of love and of self-control. That means we have the power to keep going even when it's tough. Changing how you talk to yourself can make a big difference in whether your habits stick. If your brain believes you can grow and learn, it will encourage you to take the steps needed. Now let's talk about distractions. Maybe you want to read more, but your phone keeps buzzing, or you get stuck in YouTube videos. Well, hopefully that's ours. Maybe you want to exercise, but then you see a comfy couch and Netflix. How do you handle this? One way is to remove distractions. If your phone is tempting you, put it in another room or turn off notifications. Well, there's even do not disturb. You can also set time limits. Decide you will watch only 30 minutes of TV. Then use the rest of the time to practice your habit. Using alarms help too. Set an alarm that says time to start reading or time to do push-ups. Sometimes you also have to just say no to certain temptations. If you are trying to eat healthy, maybe don't keep a giant bag of candy on the kitchen counter. Put it away or don't buy it in the first place. The Bible teaches us about self-control in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 27, talking about disciplining our bodies. It's about finding balance and not letting distractions steal our goals. Every so often, it's good to look back and see how far you've come. Reflections help you see what's working and what's not. Ask yourself, what's going well? Maybe you've been super consistent with your reading habit. Awesome. What's not going well? Maybe you keep forgetting to do your push-ups. Think about why. Maybe you need a better trigger or a different time of the day. Do you need to adjust your habit? If your habit is too easy, maybe it's time to make it slightly harder. If it's too hard, maybe scale it back. Reflections help us fine-tune our habits so they fit our lives better. And guess what? That means we are more likely to stick with them. We started by saying habits help us do cool things over and over without much effort. But there's another cool thing about habits. They have a long-term impact. Think about if you walk 5 minutes a day. You might not see a huge difference tomorrow or next week, but over months or years, you will have stronger muscles, better endurance, and possibly a healthier heart. If you read 5 minutes a day, that's more than 30 hours of reading a year. That's a ton of knowledge. If you learn a new skill for 5 minutes a day, imagine how much better you will be by the end of the year. It's like planting seeds for your future self. One day, you will look back and be really thankful you kept at it. Now let's have a quick reality check with a touch of humor. Because sometimes, despite our planning, we still mess up. Imagine you set your alarm for 6 a.m. to go for a jog. Then the alarm rings and you think, it's so cold. Maybe I'll just jog in my dreams. And you hit the snooze a few times. We've all been there. Don't beat yourself up. Laugh it off. Get up and say, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll put the alarm across the room so I have to stand up to go turn it off. We can all learn from these habits. make it easier to succeed next time. If you keep sleeping through your alarm, maybe jogging in the morning isn't just for you. Try the afternoon or evening. Sometimes we just have to keep trying different things until we find what works. Before we wrap up, let's remember that we are not alone in this journey. Building new habits can feel like climbing a mountain, but we have help. There's a verse in 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 that says, God gives us power, love, and self-control. That means you do have the strength to build a new habit. It might be deep inside, but it's there. Another great verse is Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If you ever feel like you can't keep going, remember that verse. You are not doing it by yourself. Let's pull all of this together. We've learned to start small. We've learned to use triggers by pairing our new habit with something we already do. We track our progress with stickers or apps. We celebrate wins, big or small, because that keeps us motivated. If we slip up, we don't quit. We just keep going. We speak kindly to ourselves. Trust that we can grow and reflect on what's working and what's not. And we rely on faith to give us the strength to keep going. With these steps, you have a blueprint to build habits that will help you succeed in 2025 and beyond. Alright friends, now is your chance. Pick up one habit to start today. Write it down. Tell a friend. Set a trigger. Track your progress. And don't forget to celebrate when you succeed. In the comments, I'd love to see you share one habit you are going to work on. It can be big or small, but make sure it's something you truly want to see happen in your life. Your comment might inspire someone else to take the leap. Also, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone who needs a little push building new habits. Remember, we are all in this together. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope you feel excited and ready to grow. Building new habits doesn't have to be scary or boring. With a plan, a bit of faith, and a positive attitude, you can make amazing changes in your life. And don't forget our theme verse, Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. Write it on a sticker note if you need a reminder. That's your secret superpower. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep shining, keep smiling, and keep building awesome habits. God bless you and have a fantastic day.